What's up, YouTube? JP back for another JP Gaming. Today is Monday. I have the day off, so we are recording during the day. I got some surprises for you. Last we spoke was on Friday. We were playing our free-to-play account in our learning to play Hearthstone. Just starting off, had gotten through the missions and tutorials and had started doing quests. Well, to my surprise, the next day, when I was on my little vacation in Minnesota, I opened up the game on my phone and it presented me specific quests for the Mean Streets of Gadgetzan, which is the latest collection of cards that came out. Expansion, I believe that's the words I'm looking for. So thankfully I was able to beat those quests this weekend. They're a little bit tougher than the intro quests because they require you to win. So thankfully we were winning some games and we're able to get some packs, and surprisingly we have quite a few packs to open together today, so that's what we'll start. We have 8 packs there available, so 6 Mean Street and 2 Whispers of the Old Gods. So we'll start by opening that, and if we open some cool cards, we may upgrade some of our current decks and play on ladder. If not, we might check out Arena, build an Arena deck and play a game or two in there. But the other surprising information was we did so well this weekend playing our new decks, basic classic cards, that we actually made it all the way to rank 19 on ladder and standard. So that was surprising to me. Starting to see some pretty meta heavy decks out there, so I was shocked to actually get enough wins to get up that high. Now, I believe we fell back to rank 20, but yeah, so we won 21 games total. We're currently ranked 20, and we will be opening up a rank 19 chest at the end of this month, which should be in a few days. Today's quest is destroy them all, destroy 40 minions. So that might be possible, but the other piece of information I realized was we should have been focusing on getting a class to level 20 so that we could do a tavern brawl for this week, because every week you get to do a tavern brawl and you're rewarded classic pack. So we left a classic pack on the table this week. We probably won't be able to make level 20, but we should definitely be level 20 by next week. So hopefully we'll be starting to add that to our weekly packs. One final thing that I realized too late is we should have recruited a friend from our first account, and by doing that we would have received a Morgul, the Oracle Morgul, on our other account, and we would have gotten another pack here. So that's something to remember if you haven't started your account yet and you have somebody that you know already plays. We could do that. And also, if you're looking for somebody to recruit you, I have 2 recruits available, so go ahead and hit me up on Twitter or through YouTube and we'll get you set up there. So we'll skip back. Alright, so let's get opening our packs. We got 8 to go through. We're going to move through them pretty quick. We have not seen any Mean Streets of Gadgetzan yet. These are the newest cards, the most powerful cards, so we'll go through those a little bit slower. So we'll go ahead and we'll start with the Whispers of the Old Gods. What we're looking for here is Cthulhu enablers. We haven't got any yet. If we don't open up any in these 2 packs, I don't think we're gonna keep buying them. We'll switch over to Mean Street or start buying classic packs. I was really hoping that they would get us some cards. Now, the Hunter got a couple good cards out of these packs, so we're not completely disappointed, but so far it hasn't been too hot. So, ooh, there we go. So we got our first legendary. That's kind of exciting. We also have a rare available. So we'll go ahead and open up the 3 basics. Classic Shaman card, Flame Wreathed Faceless. This is the meme of all memes, a 4-drop for 7/7 for 4 mana. Next up, Feral Rage, Druid card. Decent when you have Fandral. I think we've talked about it before. Last basic card is a Spawn of N'Zoth. This can be okay in a Death Rattle deck, like a N'Zoth deck. Therefore, thus the Spawn of N'Zoth. Here we go for our rare. Oh, and it's a golden, which means if we chose it, not only is it animated and looks cooler than its non-golden counterpart, but if we dust it, it's worth quite a bit more gold, or dust, I'm sorry. So I haven't really talked about that, but that's good. Cool looking animated card. And a nice hunter card all around, so happy to see that. And here we go, our first legendary on the channel. This is going to be hopefully a money card. There are some junk legendaries, but if that's the case and we really wanted to, we could dust it for quite a bit of dust that would allow us to create other cards that we want. So, alright, so Mukla, Tyrant of the Veil. He's okay. He does have a downside attached to him. So he's a 5/5 for 6. And, I'm sorry, I was getting confused with his other brother that adds the bananas to the opponent's hand. So not a bad card. I don't think he's played much, but what's really cool is he's a golden. So if we wanted to dust him, this is the absolute most dust that we can get. So extremely happy with this pack. 2 goldens and one's a legendary and one's a rare. This is a very good pack for us. So we'll think about dusting that, and this will open up the game considerably for us. So super happy with that. Moving on, Last Whispers of the Old God. So we have a epic, I believe. Yeah, purple. So we'll go around the bend here. Fiery Bat, decent hunter card. Good 1-drop. Bladey Cultist. Okay, not played that often, but I would put it in our decks for sure, starting off. Another rogue card, Southseed Squidface. Death Rattle, give your weapon +2. I've seen better, but again, we're not complaining. It's a pirate, which is nice. That'll help us out. We're getting closer and closer to being able to build a pirate-centric deck. And not bad. Good body. So. Make sure we don't open that purple to last. Ooh, second Carrion Beast. Carrion Grub, sorry. So that's the beast that we were talking about. Doesn't look good on paper. No abilities with that stats, but good body. And it's on curve, so that will fit into our beast deck for sure. And last but not least, Hammer of Twilight, Shaman card, a weird one. It's a 5-drop. It does 8 damage over 2 turns with the 4 toughness or 4 strength weapon. And Death Rattle, once you've used both of those, it turns itself into a 4/2 elemental. So interesting card. Never really seen it played, but I would put it in a Shaman deck starting off. Alright, and now to the new stuff. We've not opened any of these, and we got 6 to open. So we'll throw the first one into the grinder here. Got another epic coming up, so we'll go around the corner. 5/1, it's another meme card. Stealth, which is decent, but dies to pretty much anything, and it's 3-drop, so well costed, but the toughness hurts it. We'll definitely play it though. Toxic Sewer Ooze. You sometimes see this as a one-of in certain decks, specifically like Reno decks and stuff, but similar to its Ooze brother at 3/2. The thing that makes it a little worse is that it only removes 1 durability from the opponent's weapon, but not bad. Better body, a lot better costed. So we got a blue and a purple here, so we'll open up this regular card. Crystal Weaver, decent. So Battlecry, give your demons 1/1. The combos with a card that we are currently playing, so we'll talk about that when I remember the name. It's the 0-drop, cast all of your mana to produce that many 1/1s. I believe those are demons, if I'm not mistaken. In the next turn, you can buff them all at 1/1. So not bad. Good in Arena. Next up, we got our rare. Greater Healing Potion. Restore 12 health. You don't really see it played often. And here we are for our epic. Lotus Illusionist. I don't know if I've ever even seen this card. After this minion attacks a hero, transform it into a random 6-cost minion. So it's kind of crazy. That's the thing about epics. It's hard to open epics, to be honest. Like, I have more legendaries than I do epics, I believe, in my regular account. So I don't even believe I've ever even seen that card. So that's cool. Cool art. All right, 1 pack down, 5 to go. So got the shitty pack here. Smuggler's Crate. It's, too slow typically to be worth anything, to be honest. But maybe we'll put it in our beast deck and evaluate how we like it. Just with Hunter, you want to establish a board quick, and if you have to forego playing a creature like a Fiery Bat on turn 1, and instead play Smuggler's Crate, you're losing a lot of momentum. But that being said, if you're playing somebody like a Mage or a Rogue, and you know you're going to lose that Fiery Bat immediately to a Fireball, then it may be good to play the Smuggler's Crate. I don't know. So we'll think about playing that one. Next up, Jade Behemoth. This is a very good common card that is played in Druid Jade decks. Nowhere near being able to play it, but glad to have it in our library to pull out when we do. Kind of cool looking. Looks like he's playing in a football stadium or something there. Next up, another Crystal Weaver. So we're starting to build a little demon synergy there. Okay, here we go. Jade Lightning, a pretty busted card. This is an extremely good card. It's a damage card that can go to minions or face, so that's awesome. And it leaves behind a Jade Golem. So we haven't talked about the Jade Golem mechanic. It's new to this set. What it is when it's the first Jade Golem you summon in a game is a 1/1. Then the next Jade Golem that you summon in a game is a 2/2, etc. So mainly shamans and druids take advantage of it, and you can, with enough Jade Golem cards, you can easily get up into the 6, 7, 8, 9 or higher strength and toughness, depending on how slow the game is. So final card, payoff card, fun little card, Devolve. This is a niche card in shamans, but extremely useful. It can really screw up certain matchups. It's unlike the Evolve, so this is a new card, new mechanic. So in the past, shamans had an Evolve card that would randomly transform all of your minions to 1 higher. This is the opposite. This transforms all of your opponent's minions down 1. So you'd think it's good against pirates and stuff, but unfortunately, I don't know. It turns pirates into 1/1 wisps most of the time, I believe. So something to play around with. Another cool card that I wouldn't mind putting in a shaman deck and evaluating, especially if we get stuff like Jade Lightning. Next pack, getting in the chopper. Another shitty pack. Don't really know much about this guy. Grookfu Master, cool name, cool looking card. It's a neutral card. It's a little pricey for what it is, but Wind Fury means it can attack twice, so decent body on it. Potion of Madness. You do see priests play this. I'm not hot on priests. Been known to play a Dragon Priest deck, but it's kind of cool. I believe that these type of effects are very situational. It's a good 2-for-1 typically. You can gain control of their minion. But yeah, moving on. Jade Blossom. Looks like they're really pushing us towards Jade Druid. Another good Jade Druid card. It not only ramps you to higher creatures quicker, but it produces a Jade Golem. So played heavily in Jade Druid. Last common card of the pack is a Bluegill Sniper. I'd say B or C tier for Murlocs, but never bad to have all the Murlocs in your library for sure. And the payoff card, Fellfire Potion. This is a really good card. Morlock's got a lot of good removal tools, or AoE removals in this set, if I remember correctly. And this is the doozy. This does 5 damage to all creatures, all characters, everything. So extremely, you're playing with fire. Excuse the pun, but the thing is dangerous. It does hurt you. So halfway through our Main Streets of Gadgetins packs. Looks like we got 3 rares in this one. Holy cow. First up, Red Mana Worm. A very interesting combo card. Does see play in certain rogue OTK, one turn kills. Especially good with Conceal. But Conceal is getting nerfed, so going to the other the other shitty card here. Higher Gun, 4/3, Taunt for 3, decent. It's just better than the 3-drop 3/3 Taunt and Classic, basic Classic that we played with success to get these packs. So something that we'll easily be able to switch out. And that's just the way card games work in general. The newer sets are going to have what's called power creep. Cards are just going to get better and better. If they didn't, why would you even want to buy the packs? So this is just objectively better than one of the original classic cards, so we'll swap that out. Got the golden rare. This is an extremely good card. Dragon, I've talked about occasionally. This is one of the best dragons in the game. It's 5/6 for 5, which is pretty good. And then if you're holding a dragon, discover a card in your opponent's deck. So unlike most discover abilities, which just randomly discovers, lets you pick from 3 cards just pulled from all cards within a subset, this limits your choices to 3 random cards from your opponent's deck. And your opponents typically are playing extremely good cards, the best cards they can, unless they're new like us. So this is a very, very good card. Next rare, second rate Bruiser, pretty good. It's a taunt, 4/5, and it costs 2 less if your opponent has at least 3 minions. So if they have a board and you're trying to play defense, it's going to be 3 costs instead of 5, which is great. And a second golden for the pack. We're just getting showered in goldens. J-Claws, great shaman card. Produces a Jade Golem, which we've talked about, and is an overload enabler for overload synergies, and is a weapon which turns on South Sea Buccaneers. So we don't have any South Seas, but really happy to pick that up. 2 more to go. Okay, so just one rare. Quickly move through. Really good removal. Battle Crystal Potion, destroy a minion, and one of your mana crystals. So typically this you can play around the downside, and it's got extremely good upside. Friendly Bartender. We're not going to kick it out of bed because we're so new, but once we get a lot of new cards or more cards, this won't see as much play for us, much benefit. Second, Toxic Ooze, we've talked about that. Cabal Chemist, cool little graphic here. That means it can be played in Mage, Priest, or Warlock. The ability's nice. You are able to pull the Fellfire Potion off of it. It's a battle cry, just randomly chooses a potion. So love the art, cool card, glad to have it. Rare for the pack, a counterfeit coin. This looks kind of crappy when you think about it, because remember, all characters get a coin on if they go second, but this allows you to do some pretty degenerate things in rogue decks, which it's made for, and so typically rogues will play at least one of these, so super happy to have that. Last pack of the show for us here. Maybe we can get another legendary? No. So we got one rare. Quickly move around. Second Shadow Ranger. Naga Corsair, another pirate. It's a neutral, so all classes can play it. It's a good body, or good attack, decent body for 4. And it adds +1 attack to your weapon when it comes down. So this is played in Pirate Warrior, and we'll definitely play this in our newbie rogue decks. Another warrior card that is seeing some play, Grimy Gadgeteer. At the end of your turn, give random minion in your hand 2/2. So unlike the Smuggler's Crate that we didn't like and the Hunter cards, this is a body that goes down and immediately gives a creature in your hand 2/2. So as long as you have another creature in your hand, you're going to get benefits out of that. Smuggler's Run. Unlike the crate that we've been talked about twice now for hunters, this affects all minions in your hand. So this is a okay card. This style of hand buffing is not seeing a lot of play currently, but I would imagine that Paladins will be one of the classes to receive some love in the next set, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see these type of decks take off. So super happy to have that. And our rare for the pack is another Tri card. It's a Druid Rogue Shaman card, and this is another Discovery card. It's just a little more pricey, and 5/3. So interesting card. We'll definitely play it. So that was it for the card openings. We'll take a quick look at our collection, and I think we'll just jump straight into Arena. So if it will tell you. So for example, we have 3 new Druid cards, and you can see when you're on that page they're highlighted until you mouse over them. And then also, if we would have received, if you can only ever play 2 cards of the same card in a deck. So if you ever receive more than 2, you were given the automatic chance of disenchanting, and that would be this would be sparkling down here and showing us that here. So since we haven't met that yet, we've only ever received 2 copies of a card, never the third. That's not available yet, and I don't think I'm going to be disenchanting much on this channel, but it is something to keep in mind, and it is possible. What are we doing here? Legendary. So there's Mukla. If we wanted to disenchant him, he would give us 1600 dust, which would be enough to craft any other legendary in the game. So that's something not to. The one thing I would caution you about doing there is don't rush to dust and rush to create something else. Give it some thought and really think about what's best for your deck. What deck what's your strongest deck currently, especially starting off, and what will be the best benefit for that. You want to really focus on certain character classes that you like and certain decks that you like to play or have strong cards in, so that you can really refine and make them as strong as possible. Don't just go willy-nilly making cool cards that you want to try but don't have deck support for, etc. So we'll stop talking about that. But so these are our 2 legendaries we have. Happy to have that golden. I believe we're going to do the arena. I don't know if we'll finish the complete run today, but we will definitely get started. I'm currently not running a arena helper. There is a program that you can run in conjunction with Hearthstone that will help us decide what's the best pick during the draft portion. And if none of that makes sense, it soon will, because we're about ready to start. But I believe we'll just talk through and do it ourselves and see if we can get lucky. Either way, even if you lose miserably, you get 3 games, 3 losses, and you do get some reward. But the more wins you can get, the further you can go. You can win up to 12 times. And the more you win, obviously, the more stuff you get. The first one is free, I believe. That's why it's highlighted blue. So there's no risk of us losing gold. In the future, it's 150 gold after the first free one to play. And I believe you need to have 3 or 4 wins to break even, i.e. it costs 100 gold to buy a pack normally. And so if you can win 3 or 4 games during an arena run, then you are doing better than that. So we will start this up.
Ah, you're new here. Let me pay for your first run through the arena then.
So there you go. He's letting us know that since we're new, it's on the house. So we'll go ahead and press OK.
Choose a hero.
So everything from this point will be offered to us in sets of 3s, and we have to choose one. I believe Mage is still the best hero to choose. We did not receive him. Looking at these 3 classes, I have no idea which is better currently or has ever historically. I do know that with Garage, you are presented with more weapons than normal. All three of these are weapon classes that we should see weapons during the draft. Thrall, I would imagine, has better board control and removal out of these three. And I'm not really sure what Uther would bring to the table over these three. So, because of that, and I've never really played Paladin that much in Arena. What do we do? I think we'll go Paladin just for the funsies. Don't typically play the class, so it'll be fun to play. Even if we lose 3, I think we'll have a good time. So we'll go ahead and choose Uther.
Now, pick a card to add to your deck.
So now starts the arena, the drafting portion. We've chosen our class that we're going to be. So now that the picks are tailored to that class, and now we will start the drafting process. There's no rush or anything, so we can sit here and think about this as much as we want. So the 3 that are presented, first one's pretty good. The 3-drop, 3/3, good body. Battlecry, changing it. Enemies, minions attack to 1, so that's very good. Stops hyper-aggressive cards, stops big creatures, and is a decent body. Spiked Hog Rider, it's a 5-drop, 5/5. If an enemy minion has taunt, gain charge. A lot of people love to play taunts in Arena, so that's a good card. I don't know if it's better than Peacekeeper or not. And then finally, Finching Coast. It's a 3 Battlecry. The next time you use your hero power, it costs 1 less. Our hero power is okay. It's not the greatest. It can't remove anything. It only produces a 1/1. So effectively, that would be a 3/3 for 3 because the 2/2 plus the 1/1 body. So not that great compared to the other 2. I don't know which would be better of the first 2 to choose. If we had that program, it would help us. It assigns a number value. But saying all that, I'm going to go ahead and choose the Aldor Peacekeeper.
Keep it off.
Thanks, buddy. Next up, trying to move along a little quicker. Grook Fu Master that we opened during our packs. Double Strike. 2-drop. Spider. It's a beast, which we have no current synergies with, and it's never really good to draft around synergies in Arena. Typically, you can get some success doing like a mech draft, I believe, but this is an okay one. Death Rattle, it summons 2 1/1 creatures, so effectively it would be a 3/4 for 2, so pretty good stats, and it produces 3 bodies overall, so not bad. Final one being 5-drop Cult Apothecary. Battlecry, for each enemy minion, restore 2 health to your hero. Healing is pretty important, so I think I'm going to go ahead and pick that up. Even though the Haunted Creeper is nice, I think we'll have plenty of opportunity to pick up low-costed creatures. And we can also create more with our hero ability. So, Cult Apothecary. Pronouncing that wrong, I'm sorry. Starting from the right side this time, Violet Illusionist is a very good card for weapon classes, especially Warrior. It allows you to use your weapons to do trades instead of taking damage from the creatures that you're trading into. You're immune on your turn. It's a very good card. Pretty good stats for being a 3-drop. Clockwork Knight, it's a mech. We talked about it briefly. There are some mech synergies that are pretty easy to draft. And as you can see there, that's the style. They kind of work off each other, similar to dragons. We do have a 5-drop already, so that's something to consider. And then finally the North Sea Kraken, which does look like a dragon, but is not a dragon. It's pretty just big body. Unfortunately, it's a 9-drop. Battlecry effect is not bad, but I think we're going to pick up the Violet Illusionist here. And hope that we get a couple 4-drop weapons. From the right again, Knife Juggler, it's a great card. I think we played one in our Zoo deck on our other series, but it's a 2/2. If we're playing a minion heavy deck, which arena decks currently are, it does an extra point of random damage every time we cast. Problem is keeping it on the board. We don't have any taunt currently, so it's kind of wide open at that point. Wobbling Runts, it's a death rattle, summon 3/2/2s, so that would effectively be a lot of minion power and toughness for 6. Problem is getting people to kill it. It's not a taunt creature, so a lot of times people will just avoid it. Lights Champion, it's a good costed 3-drop, but we already have 2 3-drops, and it's a pretty situational silence. You can only silence demons. Demons are played pretty heavily in Arena, but I think we're going to take the Knife Juggler here just because it's a 2-drop, and we want good 2-drops, 1 and 2 drops in Arena, and I feel like there's going to be better 6-drops out there. Alright, next up, 2 secrets, which are okay. We'll start from the left this time. A Dragon 3/5. Whenever you target this minion with a spell, gain 1/1. Paladin would be the class to take advantage of that card. I just don't know if we will get offered anything like that, like buff cards. But let's take a look at the secrets and see if there's one of them that we would want to take over the Sorcerer. The first one, Sacred Trial. After your opponent has at least 3 minions and plays another one, destroy it. That one's not bad, but that's pretty easily to play around, in my opinion, with against Paladin. Or the other one, Repentance. After your opponent plays a minion, reduce its health to 1. I'm not a fan of either of these. I know that I can play around them pretty easily. I'm assuming that everybody we play in Arena is going to be a lot better than we are, and we'll know exactly what's going on. And we don't have a 4-drop. What the heck? We'll take the Dragonkin. Okay, so now Trickster is not that great with Paladin. It's good body. It enables spell damage, but we don't really do a lot of direct damage in the Paladin class, so we won't really consider that for now. Hose and Healer, Battlecry, restore a minion to full health. It's replaceable in my opinion, unless we had a lot of taunt creatures, which we don't currently, and we already have a 4-drop. And then finally, Blessing of Might, give a minion 3 attack. Doesn't seem good out of the gates, but my 2 points that I would consider would be 1, it works well with our Dragonkin Sorcerer, which is narrow right now because we have to draw both out of 30 cards. Typically we'll only get 1 of each, but more importantly, our hero ability creates 1/1s. This allows this 1-drop, even though we're 2 for 1ing ourselves, this allows us to, well, not technically because we're only putting 1 card resource in, but we're utilizing 2 actions and 3 mana effectively. But this allows for that 3 mana to trade up into a 4 toughness creature. So having said that mouthful, I will select Blessing of Might. So nothing really too hot here. Murloc Tiny Fin would only really be good in Murloc decks, and we haven't gotten any yet. I don't think we will. I don't think we'll go that direction. Holy Light is okay, because if you can heal yourself. But I think we'll go with Grime Street Smuggler. We do have 2 3-drops already, but low cost of minions, it's always good to have a bunch. And this buffs. So we'll go ahead and just select it. I don't know. Okay, so here, Abusive Sergeant is good. Good 1-drop, which we don't have any of. Light in the Darkness is a Discover card, which can be good, but it can also bite you. So that's pretty random. And then finally we have Guardian of the Kings. It's a good card, good ability, but it's a little pricey. And we do have a Cult Apothecary already. So we will actually take the Abusive Sergeant. It's always good to have a lot of 1-drop and 2-drop creatures to get out early, especially if you're going first and push your advantage. Sometimes arenas can be a race. And also similar to the Blessing of Might, this allows us to trade up. Okay, so here, starting from the right this time, we have a vanilla, no abilities, just 6/3 for 4. We already have a 4-drop. This one can be okay. Next up, Dalaran Mage. Same thing from that earlier demon. We don't really have anything to utilize spell damage with. And then finally, Jeweled Scarab. In certain classes, this can be extremely powerful because it's going to discover a 3-cost card from that class or from neutral cards. I believe that's how it works. We don't have that many 2-drops. And this is an okay card because it basically replaces itself. So it's like kind of like a draw 1. So we'll go ahead and take it because we can do better than the Greaser. Plus this allows us to have a creature and then maybe discover a spell if needed. So we're keeping our heavy minion creature theme going, but leaving our options open, toolbox if you will, to reach in and pull out stuff we need. Getaway Kodo, moving from the right, can be an interesting combo enabler. We don't really have anything to really abuse that. We can get some good benefits out of the Jeweled Scarab, for example. Any battle cry really, and we do have a couple good ones, but it's a trick to kind of line it all up. Next up, we have a hard decision in my opinion. 1-drops are great. This is a 2/1, and if we're able to put down a creature on 2, then it could give it Divine Shield, and that's just a lot of benefit and upsides all around. But I think Grime Street Protector is good enough here that we will take it. It's not only a pretty powerful card at 7, but it's taunt, which is good in Arena, and it gives adjacent minions Divine Shield. So I have not played much with this card. The dude is wearing a cool ass outfit. Looks like he's a lawyer or an engineer, architect, if you will. So I will select him. Alright, so another mech. It's a taunt though, which is good, and it can't be targeted by spells and heroes, so that's good too. We only have 1/4, so that's something to keep in mind. Next up, we have a 3-drop. We're a little busy in the 3s, and this gives your opponent a mana crystal, so we'll probably avoid that, even though it's a decent body. But effectively, we're ramping the opponent for just a 1/1 overcosted creature. That's not the greatest. Finally, we got Tuskar. We have another healer at 5 already, and this one's situational because ours has to cost more. Most people try to go for low cost, low curve decks, so we could build ours heavy on the high end to abuse this, but I think we're light on taunts. This was an okay one, especially if we can get Grindstream Protector on it to put the Divine Shield, then it becomes really good. Go ahead and choose that. Next up, we have the best 1-drop in game. You can do a lot of damage with this card, especially if you go first and draw it in your opening hand. We have an okay, kind of just a vanilla healer. It's a 2/2 and it heals for 2. And then finally, we have a Smuggler's Run. Smuggler's Run starting to look attractive with the amount of creatures we have. But because Zombie Child's in this deck, or in this pack, and we don't have many 1-drop creatures yet, we're taking the Zombie Child for sure. So here, we're probably going to take the middle one, but let's talk about the 2 on the surrounding it. On the right side, we have Mogar's Champion. 50% chance to attack the wrong enemy. Not that big of a downside. It's got a huge power. It is a little heavy costed though, on the heavy side, 6-drop. Typically you see these type of abilities on fat creatures coming around like the 4-drop slot. So we'll consider that. The other option we have is on the left side is whenever you cast a spell, summon a random minion or the same cost. We do not have that many spells currently, so we'll probably just avoid that. And then finally we need to ask ourselves if this is good enough. So the dragon is a pretty good archetype in paladins, and this one enables us to have a good turn on 5, but currently we don't have We only have one dragon. So I actually think we're going to take Mogar's Champion here. We don't have a 6-drop slot yet. And it's a pretty big beater. Next up, we'll work from the middle out. Mad Scientist can be very good, especially in Paladin. We don't have any secrets yet, and unfortunately, if we don't get any secrets, then it's just a 2/2 for 2, which is not great. Tomb Spider is decent because it replaces itself with the Beast. You can get some pretty busted stuff. You can also get some pretty non-impressive stuff. So that's kind of the random game that we avoided. And then finally we have a Naga. She's a pirate. Again, we avoid building around archetypes unless we're just raining pirates. And we don't have any weapons yet. So this is kind of this is the one thing I don't like about Hearthstone drafting compared to something like Magic. In Magic, you open an entire pack, see all the cards, and pick one pass. And so everybody's getting the same information, and they come back around. And so you're seeing a bunch of stuff, and you can kind of know, okay, if I choose this card, I might have the chance to choose a different card. This card that might come around, or you just have a lot more information and a lot more ideas of how you can build synergistic decks. In Hearthstone, the way it works is you're just presented 3 random cards. Just use yourself every choice. So there's no real way to know, are we gonna get a secret? I mean, we're not even halfway through. When we saw one secret, will we see another secret? I don't know. Will we see more weapons? I don't know. All that being said, we have 2 in the 4-drop, 2 in the 2 slot. So either one will be the third card. I don't think we'll take Naga because it's not even that good of a. I mean, the attack's good, but the question is Mad Scientist versus Tomb Raider, and Mad Scientist just has so much upside if we do get a good. But I think I'm going to stick with Tomb Spider. It replaces itself with another creature, keeping our creatures high and our card count high. Next up. This is an interesting choice. My gut says Grim Street Smuggler, just because I think it's the best upside if we stick 1/1 on a good creature. But then my practical side says that we don't have as many 2-drops, and that's a critical slot. And Silverhand Reagent can get out of control if we can protect it, but currently we don't have a lot of taunts. So right now we just need to ask ourselves if we want to take a second Grime Street or a Bloodfin, and I think we're going to be safe and take the Bloodfin. Just because we need to flesh out our 2 slot. Here's an interesting choice. It's giving us 2 low-cost creatures and 1 pretty good 4-drop, but we already have a taunt on 4. So I think I'm going to take the Friendly Bartender here. It's a safe pick, and I don't know if it's the right one or not. I could easily see arguments for both. The Elven Archer or the Sinjin Shield Master. Elven Archer is decent for being on the draw. If, for example, they play a 1-drop creature, we can answer it with our own 1-drop and take care of theirs for free. But that's kind of a corner case. It won't always line up like that, and then effectively we just have a 1/1 that does 1 extra damage. I can see a strong case for more taunt creatures, especially because we have the Grime Street Protector. The dream is to put down taunts on either side and get them shielded up. But healing is important, and we only have 1 healing card currently, so I think we'll take the Friendly Bartender here. It's a 2-drop. It's 2/3, which means it's a little tougher to take down than the 3/2. Next up, we have Mistress of Mixtures, which is an okay 1-drop card. Pretty good, actually. In a lot of decks. Then to the right, we have Undertaker. Whenever you summon a minion with Death Rattle, gain 1 attack. We don't have anything like that going on, so we'll just ignore that. And then we have a 4-drop that's pretty good. It's a 3/4, which is great. And then it changes a minion's attack and health to 3. We can play that offensively or defensively. If they have a big dude down, we can lower their attack and health. Or if we have a 1/1 or a 2/2, we can buff it. Is that better than a 2/2/1 though? I think we have to take the Mistress of Mixtures here. We already have 3 4-drops. And just the more 1-drops we have, the better, especially when they're 2/2s or 2/3s. It is healing. This is a good card, though. I think I'm going to take the Alt Keeper, though, just because it can play offense and defense for us. This is where I don't know. This is where the helper would help. And I just don't have a lot of experience in this format. But we need more 1-drops. I'll take the Mistress here. That's probably the wrong choice, but... Alright, so Minion Heavy deck, Mucklaw's Champion is good. It's a 5-drop. It buffs everything else 1/1 on the field. So I think we'll take that. Just taking a look at the other two. This one's okay, basic, classic, but there's better out there. I think Mucklaw's better by far. And then the Twisted Worgen's okay, especially if we can buff it. But we'll take Mucklaw's Champion. Next up, we have an interesting choice. We can take a 4/1, which dies to a Fart in the Wind, but is a 2-drop and can do a lot of damage if we can keep it on the board for at least 1 turn. Plus, I mean, if, for example, if we played it, it stayed around, and then we could buff it with 5 damage on the next turn. That's 9 damage, 1 swing. But that's a lot of things to line up. Other thing that we could line up would be a 6/6 Dragon. We avoided the 5-drop Dragon, which would help cast that quicker, but it's more of a win more. What I mean by that is if your opponent has 15 or less health, and you're in a good board state, you're going to win if you play a 6/6 or a 9/9, in my opinion. So this would this enables you to win more, win quicker. There are some rare cases where that would be necessary to get through something big or close the game out before they do. But the other thing would be Holy Light. It's just a straight heal spell, but we want to play a minion heavy deck, I believe, in this situation. I think we need to take the 2-drop. So yeah, you might look at the Molten Giant on the left and think, wow, we can never cast that. But if you read the text closely, it says cost 1 less for each damage your hero has taken. So that's only really possible. You could, if you're down a lot, you can play it, but that's a situation where it might not stabilize you, especially because it doesn't have taunt. So where this really shines is decks that take a lot of damage and heal a lot of damage, so that you can be stabilized and have him come down and do things. So it's an okay card. If we had built our deck with more healing, I would have probably jumped all over that. Even though we do have a couple now with Mistress, Bartender, etc. This Death Rattle guy is pretty decent. Our 4-drops are pretty busy though. And then we got the Burgly Bully. So not excited by any of these, really. I think the highest upside for us is going to be the Burgly Bully, just because it's a big body. Yeah, I don't know. We'll give that a shot. Here we have an interesting choice. We can take a Nightbane if you're holding a dragon. So that's more of a dragon-enabled card. We don't have that many, so we'll probably skip over that. Ironforge Rifleman is just an old classic basic card that's outshone nowadays. It's not that great in my opinion. So that leaves us with the Evil Heckler. It's a taunt, so that right there makes it better than the other two cards. We'll take it. Here we could take a Goldshire Footman, 1/2 taunt. I think it's between the two low-cost creatures. So I think I'll take the Flame Juggler. It's got the 2/3 body, which I like, and it does 1 damage. It's interesting. I don't know, but yeah, we'll take it. Next up, we will probably take, so there's a secret that we would have utilized if we would have taken the Mad Scientist, so that's just something to think about. Looking back, we could have diverged and taken the Mad Scientist, and then we would have jumped all over that Repentance just to have something to pull out of our deck when the Mad Scientist dies. But we didn't, so we'll skip that. And then looking at the Raging Worgen or the Pantry Spider, that's Pantry, not Panty. The reason why we're going to take the Spider is because we took the Juggler on 2, and this enables us to do 2 damage with the Juggler. It seems very niche, but I'm just not impressed with the Raging Worgen unless we can do tricks with it. And as it stands, we don't really have much to protect it and build it up. Here, the Murloc Knight stands out. There's another Mad Scientist, but we've been skipping secrets. Cult Master is a decent card that if you can kill your creatures in an effective manner, then for value, then you can even get more value out of it by drawing cards. But I think the Murloc Knight is where we want to be. It's a 4-drop, but it's a very strong card. In Paladins, only Paladins can play it, and it allows us to get another Murloc every time we use our hero power. So if we don't want to protect him, if we can't protect him, we just play him on 6. That way it's a 3/4 plus a 1/1 creature from our hero power plus a random Murloc, and there are some really good ones out there. So we'll go ahead and take the Murloc Knight. Here we will take another Blessing of Might. Light's Justice is probably a little bit better in most decks, but I think this goes well with our Dragonkin Sorcerer. I have not played too much with Larmobot. I don't know if you can break it or not. Coldlot Seer. We didn't get any Murlocs, so I think we're going to stick with the Little Exorcist to taunt 2/3, and it does have some benefit if the enemy is playing Death Rattle minions. It's probably going to be a shitty card, but we didn't really have many picks there. Here, it's just whether we want to take a more defensive taunt or a more offensive taunt. We already have a Heckler, so I think we'll take the Shield Master. Here we'll take the Raid Leader simply because we're playing a minion heavy deck. This buffs the attack of all minions on the board. We'll avoid spell damage like we've been talking about. We do have some beasts which would turn on the taunt of this guy, so that's something to think about. But we could also just use a vanilla 3-drop taunt maybe. No. Let's see how many beasts we have to make this decision. 1 beast, 2, plus a 3rd one from the Discover. Plus a 4th. 5th, possibly 6th from the Discover, but not guaranteed. So 5. We'll say 5.5. 6, 6.5. 7. I think we'll take it. It's close, but 7 beasts. Divine Favor could be good, especially against slower decks. But I think we'll take the Sludge Belcher. Always good to have more taunts. So there we are. I have no idea if it will do good or not. I believe, let's see how long it's been going. So we're at 1 hour now, officially. So I'm going to go ahead and call it. But I promise you, we won't play any of this deck. Next video, we will spend our entire time taking this deck into the arena. And so what that means is we will challenge another random player that has gone through the same process we just did, created their arena deck, and we will have 1 game against them. And then whether we win or lose, we can continue until we get 3 losses or 12 wins, whichever comes first. As soon as you lose, I believe you're moved into a loser's bracket. None of this is transparent to you, but I just think the level of opponents will get higher and higher the more wins you get. So if you go 12-0, that last game 11-0, I believe is against some of the best decks currently in the arena system. There is no time limit to this, so we could back out and never play this arena deck again, or back out and come back a year later. It should still be there, but we'll get back to it soon enough. Appreciate the watch today, but just remember, we for tomorrow's episode, we plan on doing our first arena, and hopefully we'll get enough wins that we'll have to make a couple videos out of it, and we'll all reap the rewards at the end there. So thanks for watching. Happy Monday. We'll see you tomorrow.